Shalom and good evening. I first like to give honor and all praises to our Father in heaven, who is Yahuwah. He is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Praise be to him. Praise be to Yah. I also like to give my homage to his son, Yahusha HaMashiach, for he is the Son of God, the Son of Yah, the second Adam, and the Messiah, the Anointed One. And I also like to give my respect unto the YAHUAH HaKadosh, who is the glory of Yah, the beauty of holiness, known as the spirit of wisdom, who is the seven eyes and seven spirit of Yah. Here you see before you a picture. Meditate on that as I'm speaking unto you now. The Father has brought another thing to my attention that we had discussed about dealing with the mystery of Jacob supplanting Edom, the mystery of Jacob dethroning Edom. Okay, so it's another thing he has brought to my attention. So meditate on this picture and pay close attention to the colors in this picture. Okay, pay very close attention. The color that's really standing out is red. Red. Okay, we're going to talk about this picture as we go further into this video. Also look at the color of the angel. The angel has melon. We're going to talk about that as well. Okay, and then look at the people that the angel is pointing a spear towards. Look at the color of the people hair. They're red. Their hair is red. Okay, so we're about to go into something deeper tonight. Also, when you have a chance, please check the video description box or the pinned comment section for YAHUAH prophetic messages. For everything he has spoken unto us through his prophets and prophetess, y'all, it is confirming what has been written in the Bible, as well as the other sacred books, and what I'm sharing with you tonight. Okay, so but first, let me open up with this. Sorry, y'all. I'd like to bid a shalom unto the bride of the Messiah, to the 144,000, and unto the nation of Israel, known as Yasharal. Okay, shalom. Now, Yasharal means we bear our father name, which is Yahuwah, and we bear our mother name, which is Sarah, and we bear our father title, which is El. For Yahuwah is the God above all gods. Now I'd like to read this unto you. So, I'm sorry again, y'all. Forgive me. I like to say this unto you, my brothers and sisters. Praise be to Yah. This video tonight will have a deep, heavenly message and a mystery that will give you understanding of whose kingdom we are living in now, which is prophesied by Daniel. Therefore, it shall be added to the fourth beast playlist, y'all. I have put a playlist together because it's time for Israelites and Gentiles to awaken and to know what world you are in now. You need to know what's going on now. They have been keeping us blind too long, and this is about setting you free from the captivity they have placed us in. Do you hear me, Israelites and Gentiles? Okay. So enjoy. Feast upon the living word, the bread of heaven, that will sustain all hunger, and drink a drink that will make one never to thirst again. So the title of this word this evening is red, the color of the fourth beast, Rome / Edom, and Satan's kingdom. Let me say this again. The title of this word tonight is red, the color of the fourth beast, Rome/Edom, and Satan's kingdom. Okay. Let me give you the date of the Most High calendar. We are in his 10th month. We have just finished the 8th day of the Feast of Light, known as Hanukkah, and the Feast of Dedication. And as you been following with me, everything that the Father has given unto me to preach unto you relates to your liberty, to the Jubilees, and to freedom. Okay, this is very important. In order to come out of darkness, you have to come into the light, and it starts with receiving the truth and awakening and recognizing what world you are in now. Okay, so our Father's Day is, we are in the 10th month. Okay, we are in the 4th day of the 10th month, known as Tibet. We are in the 8th day from Adam, which starts in the 7,001st year, ending to the 8,000 year. We are in the 13th day from creation. That would start in the 13,000 year, ending in 13,999. It's very important that you know these dates, because those who have been watching and praying know that we do not have long. For soon the Messiah shall dispatch the eagle wings to gather us, to redeem us, to exodus us. Excuse my tongue, y'all. Do you hear me, O bride of the Messiah, the 144,000, and to the nation of Israel? We do not have long. Okay? For those who have been watching and praying. And according to biblical prophecy, following after that, after some other events happen after that, after the gathering of the elect from the four corners of the earth, some other events going to take place. Then after those events take place, then the Messiah would come and establish his reign upon the earth and sit upon the throne of David and bear the office of king and high priest. For he comes after the order of Melchizedek, and he shall set his church, his assembly, in Mount Zion, or Tizon. Okay, that's how we would say it in the Hebrew tongue. Tizon. He would come and set his assembly there. And there shall all sons of Adam come and learn of the Most High ways. Now the heathen date, which is Satan date, their date is December the 19th, 2020 AD. The time is 12:19 a.m. We are in the nighttime of the day phase. Okay. But we know the Most High day starts from sundown to sundown, for he is the Father of lights. But for Satan, for his calendar, he starts from midnight to midnight, for he is the father of darkness, known as the father of lies. Okay. That reminded me about to share this with you. Tomorrow we shall gather with our family, which is Yah family. Okay. We shall gather tomorrow to talk about his calendar and his mysteries. For those who like to join us, you can call me at 919-972-8970 to get information on how to join with us tomorrow as we gather as a family. For we are under one God, which is Yahuwah, under one Son, which is Yahusha HaMashiach, and under one Spirit, which is known as the Spirit of Wisdom. Okay? That was bring us together. That was join us together as a family. We are not a part of any assemblies, camps, organization, anything, or any clique. We are people who are scattered throughout the four corners of earth, coming together to learn about the Most High calendar and about his mysteries, for those who like to join us. Now that I have given you the date, now let's get back to this picture. I hope this picture is large enough where you can see it. Okay, here we see a river of blood, and we see an angel who has melanated skin. Okay, there's a reason why I'm bringing this out, because we got to go into scriptures and you'll see why. He has melanated skin, and he's pointing his spear towards a group of people that's below him. And these group of people are bound now, so they are shown they're being taken as captives. Okay, and it looks like this angel is pushing them into the river of blood. And if you look into the river of blood, there's another angel there taking his spirit and tormenting what's ever in that river of blood. And we're going to talk about that. What's the meaning of this? Okay. But what I want you to focus on, not only with the river of blood, because we see the color red, right? I want you to focus on the people hair. Their color is red. There's the reason why I'm bringing this out tonight, because sometime today, y'all, I was reviewing some things that I had shared with y'all dealing with the mystery of Jacob supplanting / dethroning Edom. Okay. And in one of those articles I shared with you, they have brought out a very important question. And I'm going to show you what they brought out. But I want you to take this time now to meditate on this. What you see going across the screen now is a reminder for you to read YAHUAH prophetic messages. In that playlist are 7 important messages I want you to hear and I want you to print out, because our Father has spoken. He has prophesied unto us. Okay. He is telling us what season we are in. Okay. So please, when you go to those videos, check the video description box and get those printouts. There's PDFs and Google document links that you can have access to those messages and print them out and share them with others. Okay. Because he's saying a whole lot in those messages, y'all. And even myself, I go back from time to time and review, because he's revealing a lot of deep things. Okay. And one of the things that happened in the 10th month, again, Israel didn't see the new moon, y'all. This is fulfilling biblical prophecy. And and from what I'm seeing on YouTube and Facebook, some of y'all are not aware of that. Some of y'all are not paying attention to the heavens. And you go back to the beginning, which is Torah. Torah told us that these lights would be a sign unto us. So the Father is communicating unto us through his creations, especially the heavens. The heaven is his billboard, and he displayed the message. But we get so caught up with these distractions here in this world, we don't see our Father talking to us. So even in the 10th month, the Jewish people, which is Yahad, they did not see the new moon, y'all. And it's a reason. This is a sign. But the rest of the world saw the new moon. Okay. For those who just came on with me this evening, Shalom. Shalom. All right. Now I'm going to take you to the article that stood out to me. Okay. So I'm going to have to change screens. Let me see where to go. Here we go. I'm now on the Wikipedia website. Okay. I need to pull something up just to make sure. Okay. Making sure y'all have full screen. I'm on the Wikipedia website, and it's dealing with, let me go to it now, what we talked about yesterday, which is dealing with Augusta of Prima Porter. Okay. Augusta of Prima Porter. And under this topic, polychromy. Polychromy. Okay, this is where we're going at tonight. The reason why I'm silent, y'all can tell I'm multitasking on something. I'm trying to get to my device, so that way for those who have comments. I'm trying to sorry about that. so I can see who's commenting when I'm on different screens. Okay, here we go. Polychromy. I'm going to start at the top because it's very important. You'll see why. It says that it is almost certain that the Augusta was originally painted, but so few traces remain today, having been lost in the ground and having faded since discovery, that historians have had to fall back on old watercolors and new scientific investigation for evidence. Vince Brickman of Munich researched the use of color on an ancient sculpture in the 1980s using ultraviolet rays to find traces of color. So what this first paragraph is saying, that these Roman statues that you see that's in the Vatican, they have painted them in color, y'all. Okay, they was never all white that you see today. Now it's a reason why before the public's eye you would see these Roman statues in all white. I'm telling y'all, we're in the fourth beast kingdom. They're covering up things because those who are well studied in the Bible under the Spirit's teachings, it will reveal what they are hiding from the world. Okay, for those who understand those biblical writings. The reason why y'all see me scrolling up, I remember reading unto you, I think it was yesterday because I'm losing track of time. I can't keep up. But I remember reading unto you in the first paragraph that they said that this statue is assumed to be a copy of a lost bronze original display in Rome. So there was a bronze statue made of Augusta, Caesar Augusta. And the reason why I bring out bronze, when we study about other statues, we see that was one of the main materials they use. And it's for a reason. But that's for another topic and another word for another time. Okay, so I just want to bring that out. But going back to this subtopic, which is polychromy, okay, going to that subtopic, is saying unto us the original appearance of these statues was not all white. They was painted in color, okay? Now we go to the second paragraph. It goes on to say, today, the Vatican museums have produced a copy of the statue so as to paint it in the theorized original colors, as confirmed when the statue was cleaned in 1999. However, an art historian of the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, Fabio Berry, has criticized this reconstitution was unsubtle and exaggerated. There are many noticeable differences between the original prima porta of Augusta and the painted recreation. However, due to the ongoing disagreement on the statue's pigmentation, there is little information or exploration on the uses of these colors. Another copy was painted with a different color scheme for the Tarraco Viva 2014 festival. So even amongst them, they're having some disagreement of what colors should have been used on the statue. But let us keep going, y'all, because it's something else I need to bring to your attention. It's dealing with the Greeks. Remember, Esau created two nations or two kingdoms. Esau created the kingdom of the Greeks and the kingdom of the Romans. Again, remember, he's mingled himself with the son of Japheth. Okay, you got to know biblical history. It is there. This is why you see the Roman Christians and their sub-branches of their assemblies. Okay, because there's many sub-branches now of them. This is why you hear them talk against us reading those other books. Okay, it's revealing too much truth. But let us keep reading. Since at least the 18th century, The familiar sight of Roman sculptures that lack their original paint has encouraged the idea that monochrome is the natural condition for classical sculpture, but surface treatment is now recognized as an integral to the overall effect of the sculpture. Now I'm going to this paragraph. Now this is the one you really want to pay close attention. Okay? It goes on to say, the writings of 2nd century polymath Lucian provide a good example of how color functioned for a work of that time. I fear I stand in the way of her most important feature. The rest of the body let appellees represent, not too white, but diffused with blood. Do y'all hear this? The rest of the body let appellees represent, not too white, but diffused with blood. What's the color of blood, y'all? Red, right? Let us keep going. The quote continues to state that a statue of the time is unfinished without its crura, skin, or layer applied to the statue to render it complete. The specific implication of each color chosen for the prima porta is unknown, assumedly red for royalty. Now, this is the sentence that caught my attention, y'all. Now, they say here they don't know why that color was chosen for this statue. Now, notice in the statue, red hair, he got a lot of red within his armor plate for his chest. He has a red, what you call that thing? It's not a blanket, but going around him that's covered in red. And so they're trying to figure out, why would this color red be chosen? Okay. So they thinking that the color red is chosen for royalty as a sign. Now, I want to see how well y'all know Bible. What is the first thing that should stand or should come to your mind? I'm going to click on this picture. Or what scripture should come in your mind when you're dealing with the color red? I'm going to see if some of y'all can recall any scriptures that would deal with the color red concerning the Bible. Do I have anyone will be willing to take a guess? Okay. If not, I'm going to take you to it. Now you're going to see it in the Torah. Okay, we can say Old Testament because we know the Old Testament is inclusive of Torah and of the prophets and of the historical books, which is known as the Tanakh. You're going to see it in Torah. But another book where you'll see it at is in Revelations. Revelations, yes. Okay. All right. Let me take you there now. Okay. So I need to share my screen on that one. Bear with me. Revelation 12. Now, I like the 1611 because it gives you the chapter summary, and it also gives you the side note. This book has Hebrew words in it. It also has the Greek words in it. It also has the precepts And it does make references to other books, such as to the work of Josephus, to I'm trying to think what a book I had seen besides the books in this Bible here. But it does make references to other books where you can get precept upon precept. Okay. This book is different from any other modern day King James translation. I highly recommend that you get this book while you can. I got my copy from Amazon for around $20. Okay. Sometimes you can even go to an old bookstore and find this 1611 Bible. Okay. Now we're going to read the chapter summary, and then we're going to go to the verse 4. Verse 4. Revelations chapter 12, the summary. A woman clothed with the sun travaileth. The great red dragon standeth before her, ready to devour her child. When she was delivered, she fleeth into the wilderness. Michael and his angels fight with the dragon and prevail. The dragon being cast down into the earth, persecuted the woman. Now, as I'm reading the summary to you, a lot of things should be popping up in your mind, or especially what we talk about with Genesis chapter 3, or what the Father said unto our mother Eve, and what he said unto the serpent. Go back and study that. It goes deep. Because when you read these verses, it's going to represent several things. One of the things is going to represent what happened to Miriam and to the Messiah. It's also going to represent what should happen to Israel. Yes, what should happen to the nation Israel. So it's representing a lot of things, and it's bringing and it should bring into your mind all of the other books of the Bible from the beginning up to the end. Okay. So we're going to go to verse 4. Verse 4, because it said what? The great red dragon. Okay. Verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Okay. Notice here, if you only had a regular King James Bible, you're not going to see the word red, right? Not in this verse. But if you have the 1611 Bible, you will see the word red in verse 3. So I need to read higher up. Forgive me, y'all. Verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. To understand what the dragon represents, you have to understand Daniel prophecy and Ezra prophecy. It's in the Apocrypha. Ezra was given the part that Daniel was not given. But to bring you up to date, when the dragon first started, y'all, it had 10 brass nails, right? And if you understand what the brass represented, it represented the Greek Empire, the Greek's kingdom, which later was conquered by Rome, and they became a part of the Roman kingdom. And as time went on, the beast began to change itself. In other words, it was a restructure within itself. So today, what has placed the 10 brass nails that Daniel talked about, I want you to read Daniel chapter 7, 8, 9. I want to say 10 as well, but definitely 11 and 12. Matter of fact, just read the whole book. The whole book. Daniel's talking about he talks about 4 kingdoms, but the 4th kingdom will be up to the end. In other words, that 4th kingdom will be ongoing until the Messiah put an end to it. Okay? But within itself, it had to restructure itself. So now now what has taken the place of Now what has taken place of the 10 Greek kingdoms are, or what is taking place of them is the United Nations. Go back and study the European history. You'll see it. You'll see it. It was made up of 10. Okay. But let's get back on track here. So in verse 3, you see that the dragon is given a color, which is red, right? Given a color, which is red. Very important to know. Because what I share with you from the Wikipedia article, let us go back to that article. They couldn't understand why the statue would be mostly painted in red. Okay. They couldn't understand that. Give me y'all. I'm just trying to find where it's at. Okay, here it go. They could not understand that, okay? They thought the color red was for royalty. Now, we know in this world of darkness, Edom is ruling. So they had it somewhat right, but they didn't have the whole truth of the matter. He is royalty, but he is royalty with another. Remember, Satan's copy the Most High. Just as Jacob was anointed to be the prince of Yah. Remember what the prophet Hosea said about him. Okay? Remember what we talked about a couple nights ago. Dealing with Jacob being the supplanter. He was anointed above his brethren, above the sons of Adam, above the sons of Noah. He was chosen out of them to be a prince of Yah. Okay? So Yah has his prince and Satan has his prince. Okay? Remember, Edom, who is Esau, was taught the ways of the Most High, but he chose to listen to Satan. He followed the same path that our ancestor did, who was Cain. Okay, he followed him. He followed his same ways, and he also followed the ways of Nimrod. Something to really meditate on here, y'all. Do y'all see this? Just like with the calendar, our calendar starts from sundown to sundown. Satan calendar starts from midnight to midnight. He starts from what? From night to night. He is the father of darkness. Our Father in heaven is the Father of light. Do y'all see this? So just like our Father in heaven has a prince, Satan has a prince. Just like our Father in heaven has a Messiah, where Satan has his Christ. Do y'all see this? He copies what our Father do. And he spoke this through one of his prophetess, y'all. That's why I've been telling y'all to read YAHUAH prophetic messages, especially with I'm coming for you. It's either in part 1 or part 2. And he will tell you himself that Satan has nothing of his own. He has been copying him, the Son, and the Ruach. Okay? Very important. So they somewhat hit on the head, but they didn't get it. Because for them to understand why this statue here is covered in red, or why it's predominantly painted in red, if they understand what that really means, they will understand what the statue represents. It represents Edom is ruling. It is telling you Edom is wrong. It is also telling you that Edom has went in covenant with the dragon, known as Satan and his angels. This is where he get his powers from. This is where he get his anointing from. This is how he's able to rule the world right now. Okay? Again, when you understand what happened in Genesis with our foreparents, then you understand all these things and why these things are so. Okay? Now that we got that, let me see where else to take you, because we're going to get some deep stuff. I'm hearing the Father tell me set the foundation. Set the foundation. Okay. So let me take some stuff off of here that I no longer need. So some next things I want to show you before we get into the foundation are these two things. To let you know, Edom does give his symbols. He has signs to let you know that he's ruling. And he's letting you know that we are in Satan's kingdom. Okay, so I want to show you these signs. Now, some of y'all may know this already for those who have been following along, but those who are new, you may not. So I'm going to take you to that right now. These are one of the signs. This is dealing with his church. His church is under this sign here called Okaneme. It's a Greek word. It means Roman Empire. Now, there's 2 videos on the channel that can give the breakdown of this. Okay? But you need to get familiar with this. These churches that is set under this assembly or this organization has nothing to do with our Father's church or his assembly. They are under the beast church right here, the World Council of Churches. Okay. The next symbol I'm going to take you to, I'm going to close this out now. Of that symbol, like I said, they have many symbols and they have many things or many signs to tell you who they are. But we don't know it because we are lacking knowledge. We are ignorant of those things. Okay. But now we're in the season where the Father is bringing this to light. Here we go. Here's the next symbol. On the channel, it gets the background that it's looking at the World Health Organization symbol. Look at here. We have a snake on the wooden staff that is set before the world and is surrounded with a Roman leaf. Do y'all see that? Okay. Again, the channel gives the breakdown what that means. Again, they're telling you who they are, but we get blinded because they do some good deeds. When you understand how cunning a snake is, he's just like a hunter, y'all. They are very clever at what they do. They set up bait to allure you to them. So one of the bait they set up with you is by doing good deeds. By them doing good deeds, they are confusing you because then you begin to question, no, it can't be them because they done X, Y, and Z for the people. But that's what they do. They want you to be off your guard. They want you not to know who they really are. They wear many masks, y'all. But what gives them away is their pride. And what I mean by that, they're very boastful. They are constantly showing you who they are. They will display their symbols before you. And they be laughing at you because they be laughing at you because they know you don't know these things. They know that you are lacking knowledge. Okay. Now I'll close that out. So we got that out of the way. But the channel talks about that. The next thing I need to take you to, let me see where to go before we go to the foundation. Earlier, I told you I had put together a playlist for you. And I'm going to take you there now. So we have that out the way. The playlist is for right now because I don't know if this was going to be the title, but for right now, The title is the Fourth Beast / Red Dragon Kingdom, Edom, Rome, and Satan and his angels. Okay, so a playlist has been put together for you so you can share it with your brothers and sisters. Now, I probably don't have this listed right now in the video description box, but if you come back later, it will either be in the video description box or it would be in the under the letter I of this video. Just click on that letter I and you will see it listed. Okay, so as you see here, it's being put together for you. A lot of deep things, because it's time for you to know your enemy. It is time for you to know the Most High enemy. You need to know what you're dealing with, because if you don't know what you're dealing with, you won't know how to fight it. And you cannot fight them in your flesh. You got to battle them through the spirit. Okay? These are powerful beings. And if you go to war with them, you're going to lose because you're not prepared. Because you cannot deal with them in your flesh. No way possible. This is why the book of Ephesians warned you and told you you're not dealing with flesh and blood. You are dealing with principalities. Remember, they are the reason why we're in this mess. Go back to Genesis and you'll see it. Even the prophets such as Ezekiel told you. For those who choose not to read the other sacred books, well, in the Bible, they tell you who you're dealing with. And I call them the hidden ones. They work behind the scene. You don't see them. They're spirits. Okay? The only ones that can recognize them for those who stay in this word, who is connected to the Father, the Son, and the Ruach. We can recognize them. We can tell when they're speaking through our brothers and sisters. Okay? So a playlist has been put together for you. All right. I want to get that out of the way. So I'm going to close this out. The next thing I need to take you to, now this is setting the foundation. It's the reason why I use the word melon. And I'm going to put the other playlist that's dealing with the explanation of, to explain you about ready, what do ready mean, but it's not dealing with looking at ready. And let me explain myself. In that playlist that pertains to ready, there's a video that a sister did to give you more understanding about this word I'm going to take you to now. Okay, so let me take you to that word first. And I'm trying to remember her name. She is of one of the biggest natural hair person out here. And I think her name is Chime. Okay. She posted a video dealing with this word here that you see known as melon. And when you study this, and I'm so happy that they show these pictures here. Okay. Let me blow this up because I want you to see this. You see, not only do we have melon, do you hear me, Israelites? The Europeans have melon too. Even though it's not as deep as ours, but how you can tell is when they tan in the sun. They're letting you know right then and there they too have some melon. Now there are some people who have no melon. So even if they stand in the sun, they won't tan. They're actually will burn a lot quicker. Okay. But when you look at the European nations, I put an S because we know who make up the European nations. It's 3 groups. We have the sons of Japheth, we have the sons of Esau, and we have the sons of this unknown ancient nation. Yes, the Bible talks about them. Because when you study the sacred books of the Israelites, the work of Josephus will confirm unto you that the Israelites knew of all the nations and the tribes in the earth. Because we had the records, we had the history. But when you get to the book of Deuteronomy, as well as the prophets, they would tell you there's a nation that we did not know. And in the Bible, it labeled them as this unknown ancient nation. that has mingled themselves with Edom and with Japheth. Okay? Even science will bear witness unto you. There is a species that looks like man, but they are not man. Okay? And they have many different words for them. Look it up. It's there. Evidence is there. They look human, but they're not human. In other words, they're not Adam. And the reason why they're not Adam, because they don't have a soul. Where did the soul come from? It comes from the breath of Yahuwah. That's what makes us different from them. We bear his breath. And because we are a living soul, we have what? A conscience. Okay? So in other words, it will bother you to do evil because of your conscience will condemn you or make you feel ashamed. They don't have that because they weren't made by our Father in heaven. Okay? All right. Let us keep going. So, just look at these different images they have of people comparing the different shades of melanin. Okay? For the definition says, a dark brown to black pigment occurring in the hair, skin, and iris of the eye in people and animals. It is responsible for tanning of skin exposed to sunlight. Do y'all hear this? So remember in the other videos I share with y'all, the reason why there's different hair color, because as you go from black to red to blonde to what they call gray, which is actually white, you will see that each shade is presenting unto you a lesser shade of melanin or a lesser amount of melanin. This is why when you get to black, it is made up of all colors. But in order to make a person with black hair to become blonde, you have to strip it of its melanin. Okay? Something to learn here. But the reason why I brought this up, because most of the time when we hear the word melanin, because of the European conditioning us or educating us, they have got us trained to think that melanin only pertains to quote unquote black people or brown people. But most of the time you think of black because of the conditioning that they have put in our minds. This is what the European taught us. So the reason why I want to look at the origin of this word, because this comes from their standards, their terminology. That's why I like etymology, the study of words, because you can really see how we came to believe what we believe because of what they taught us. Remember, the Europeans followed in the same manner of the Greeks, because the work of Josephus would tell you that the Greeks start going around changing the names of the nations, of the tribes, so you will not know who is who. However, there are some nations or tribes that still bear their name of antiquity that is given in Genesis chapter 10 and also in the work of Josephus. It's there. For example, when you look at the word Grecian, you will learn that they come from the lineage of Japheth, the Grecians. But when you look at the Greeks did not come until later. They're not a nation of antiquity. The Greeks was created by Edom, who is Esau, mixing himself with the sons of Japheth. Okay, so when we look at the word melanin under the Greek word which comes from meles or melan, it means black unto them. And when we look in the mid-century, also when we look in the mid-19th century, the word melanin was spelled like that in the mid-19th century, which comes from this English, what's the word I'm looking for? Suffix. I think that's how you would say it, the suffix. So that's when they started adding the in to this word that comes from a Greek word that means black. Okay, so it says here mid-19th century from the Greek word melis, melon, which means black. In was added later on. The 19th century is basically in the years of the 1800s. In the 1800s, okay? All right. It said translate matter to a language. Let me see. I'm just curious, y'all. I wonder, do they have it here? Just to see what it's going to give us. I was thinking they spell it out, but then no, they just show it in the Hebrew tongue. But they don't spell the word out where we can really see it. I was just curious. Anyway, but now you get my point. So for us, the way the Europeans have been teaching us, when we hear the word melon, most of us immediately associate this word to quote unquote black people. But as you can see in these pictures here, I'm going to blow this up for you. These pictures right here, you can see those that bear melon is not only dealing with quote unquote black and brown people, but also dealing with Europeans. Because all you have to do is take them and compare their skin pigmentation to a color chart, and you will see not all of them are pure white. They have melanin. Remember, we all come from Adam, which bring me to this. Thank you, Father. Bring me to this. And because we come from Adam, we know our father Adam was reddish brown. Reddish brown. Okay. I'm going to take you to that screen. This comes from Wikipedia, y'all. I'm telling y'all, even the heathens' records will tell you the truth that they has hidden from the Israelites and from the rest of the world. So we're going to Wikipedia to red hair because I'm going to show you the meaning of Adam. Okay. And in this same article, it would tell you that they associated the Jewish people who are yet had to having red hair. I'm just trying to find the area that I was in. Okay. They would tell you that. They associate a Jewish person to having red hair. Again, it's dealing with biblical prophecy. Who is the one who would take the identity of his brother? Jacob. Who is that one? It's prophesied by the prophets. His brother, Esau, would do that. Okay. He would perpetrate as being an Israelite, knowing that he's not an Israelite, because when you study the Bible and you study lineage, you will learn that in order for one to be an Israelite, you have to be born from the loins of Jacob. Okay, you have to be a descendant of Jacob. That's where it starts. I'm just scrolling up, y'all. Which remind me of this. So as I'm scrolling, this is what the Father remind me to tell y'all. Even Alexander the Great Mother had red hair. And she worshiped snakes, y'all. It's right there. She worshipped snakes. So since I had to scroll to the top of the article, okay, I want to find the part that tells you how they associated the Jews with red hair. Here it go. It's in this paragraph. It's on the Eastern and Southern Europe. Eastern and Southern Europe, right here. Red hair is also found amongst the Ashkenazi Jewish populations. In 1903, 5.6% of Polish Jews had red hair. Other studies have found that 3.69% of Jewish women overall was found to have red hair, but around 10.9% of all Jewish men have had red beards. In European culture, before the 20th century, so before the 1900s, red hair was often seen as a stereotypically Jewish trait. During the Spanish Inquisition, all those with red hair were identified as Jewish. In Italy, red hair was associated with Italian Jews, And Judas was traditionally depicted as red-haired in Italian and Spanish art. The stereotype that red hair is Jewish remains in parts of Eastern Europe and Russia. Do y'all hear this? Let's bring us back to what the title of the video is. We now begin to understand why Augustus Caesar was painted in red. Okay? But let's go further. So let me take you to the part that I was aiming for. It's under religion. Here it go. It's under the section of 5.5 religious and mythological traditions. Okay? And if you look right here, I'm going to read this whole thing because it talks about their gods. Again, we can see who is the leading tribe and who's the leading nation. So let me start from the top. It said in ancient Egypt, red hair was associated with the deity Set, and Ramesses II had it. In the Iliad, I think that's Achates, hair is described as Sethes, usually translated as blonde or golden, but sometimes as red or tawny. Okay? Reason why I'm bringing this out, remember, blonde is the lack of melanin. Blonde hair or yellow hair is the lack of melanin. That's why it's lighter in color. Okay? But sometimes as red or tawny. Again, when we see red hair, who is the father of the red hair? Esau. It's there. I'm going to take you to another article that proves what I'm saying unto you. This is coming from the heathen sources. Okay? His son Neoptolemus also bears the name Perus, a possible reference to his own red hair. The Norse god Thor is usually described as having red hair. The Hebrew word usually translates ruddy or reddish brown. Admoni, excuse my tongue, or I used to say Adam, okay, Admoni from the root Adam or Adam. See also Adam and Edom. Do y'all see how close Edom's name is to Adam? Remember his characteristics. Remember how he was born like a hairy garment, and he was red all over. He had red hair, y'all. Also remember what he ate. He ate a pot of red lentils. And when he did that, that's when his name was changed from Esau to Edom to represent red. Okay? Was used to describe both Esau and David. So they said the word ruddy or reddish brown, which is Admoni, is used to describe Esau and David. On those who have a copy of the 1611, the fathers reminded me to share with you in the Apocrypha, you will see that word ruddy. When you read First Enoch, you will see redder than a blossom rose. Redder than a blossom rose means ruddy. When you look up a rose, you will see there's different shades color of the rose. But one of the colors of the shades is ruddiness. Yes, which means reddish brown. So Noah bears the same characteristics that's listed in Songs of Solomon that deals with the Messiah. I think it's chapter 5, verse 10. For it says that the Messiah was white and ruddy. When you go back to the Hebrew text, you will learn that the Messiah was known as this Hebrew word, sach, which means to illuminate. So he was illuminating in a bright white light, and his skin pigmentation was ruddy. He was ruddy. That means reddish brown. That is the same thing with Noah. This is why Noah was compared to the angels. And the Father had me to lay into that foundation. Thank you, Father. We're going to go to Ezekiel chapter 1. Ezekiel chapter 1 give you a description of what the angels, I don't want to say like skin pigmentation, but what their color will look like. Okay. So here again, I want to point out to you, it said that the Hebrew word translate ruddy or reddish brown as Admonai, which comes from the root word Adam, and it tells us to see also Adam or Adam or in Edom. And this word was used to describe both Esau and David. Okay. Early artistic representation of Mary Magdalene usually depict her as having long flowing red hair. This picture right here that you see over here to my right. Although a description of her hair color was never mentioned in the Bible, and it's possible the color is an effect caused by pigment degradation in ancient paints. Okay, so they're telling you why you may see this color now. Okay, the paint could have degraded, and they are recognizing that the color of Mary Magdalene's hair is not mentioned in the Bible. Mary Magdalene is one of the Messiah's disciples, and she too has written a gospel. And I love how G. Haney translated her writings. She kept it close to the Hebrew text. You can tell. Okay. And Mary Magdalene was the Messiah's beloved companion. He gave her the greatest mystery. There is a video on the channel that goes into that will give you more insight, but I highly recommend for those who are able to get that book by G. Haney. Please get it. It is selling for as paperback around $20. Okay. Excuse me, y'all. But let me keep going on. Okay. It said Judas Aristocrat is also represented with red hair in Spanish culture and in the works of Shakespeare, reinforcing the negative stereotype. So now we get to understand how they have associated Jewish people with red hair, because Esau has assumed the identity of his brother, or Esau's children has, Edom. Okay, they are perpetrating as Israelites, but they're not. All right. So now we have set that foundation. I now need to take you to the book of Jeremiah. Okay. So let me backtrack this one, because there is another verse that we're going to read tonight that's going to set the foundation. And it relates to that first painting that I showed to you at the beginning of this live video. And it's done with 1 Maccabees chapter 3. So we'll come back to that, okay? But first, I need to take you to Ezekiel chapter 1. For he gives you the description of the angels, okay? As far as if one would to know what color they were. And in chapter 7 says that it is the time of Ezekiel prophecy at Chebar or Chedbar, his vision of 4 cherubims and of the 4 wheels and of the glory of Yahuwah. I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm just going to point out some things that will give you an idea of the color of them, such as in verse 4, it says that, okay, not that verse. I'm going to start at verse 5, and we're going to skip down to verse 7. It says, also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and these was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. Now, skipping down to verse 7, it says that, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkle like the color of burnished brass. Now we know what burnished brass look like. It would be melon. They would have melon. In other words, they would have a deeper melon. going back to that definition. Remember, these Europeans set the standards. So when we see in burnished brass, that's done with somebody who's melanated. But the one that we think that's melanated, we think they are what, quote unquote, black, right? Remember, they set the standard of this. Let me see what other verse. There's another verse in here. Okay, that's all I see in this text. And then also I'm going to take you to, I think it's chapter 40 of Ezekiel. Bear with me, I got to find it. And we all have some time. I highly recommend that you read Ezekiel chapter 40 to 48, because a lot of mysteries too are given in those chapters, as far as giving you the blueprint or the plan of what we're going to do in the new kingdom to come. Okay, hold on, y'all, because I remember reading it. I got to find it. Okay, it's in Ezekiel chapter 40. We go to verse 3. Ezekiel chapter 40, and we go to verse 3. So let me back out of here. And if you hear people testimonies dealing with the fallen ones, they would tell you too, they are quote unquote black. Okay. This is why you see Rome kissing or worshiping the Madonna and her child. Again, they know whom they are serving, y'all. That statue or that painting of the Madonna, of the melanated Madonna, goes back to Nimrod's wife and her child known as Tammuz. Okay, remember, y'all got to look at the Fourth Beast Church. They know what they are worshiping, but we don't know because we lack understanding. So now I'm in Ezekiel chapter 40. Let me read the summary unto you first, for it says the time, manner, and end of the vision, the description of the east gate, of the north gate, of the south gate, of the east gate, and of the north gate, 8 tables, the chambers, and the porch of the house. So now let's go to verse 3. For it says here, and he brought me thither, and behold, there was a man whose appearance was like the appearance of brass, with a linen of flax in his hand, and a measure reed, and he stood in the gate. Deep, huh? So this angel or messenger that visited Ezekiel to give him this sacred information, notice what it says here. His appearance was like the appearance of brass. And for the sake of it, I'm going to type in the word brass, because notice it don't say fiery brass, because we know lately the heathens want to classify or say that it's not pertaining to melon. Okay, let me see what I can find first for y'all right quick. Now here's a good idea. So right here I found something really good for y'all, so y'all can get a true idea about the color of brass. Oh, and my screen didn't change over. Well, first let me take you to the Ezekiel. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I thought I had it on my screen. Let me first take you to Ezekiel. I had just read Ezekiel chapter 40 verse 3, as you see here, that the man that appeared to the prophet Ezekiel had appearance like the appearance of brass. Okay. Let me go back to Ezekiel chapter 1 so you can see what that text looked like. In that chapter. Okay. So let me go to Ezekiel chapter 1. And I do apologize about that, y'all. I was in verse 5, okay, dealing with those creatures. It said that those creatures, in verse 7, it said that they sparkle like the color of burnished brass. That means polished brass or brass that has been burnt. Okay, so now I'm going to take you to a picture of what brass looked like to give you an idea of these angels or cherubims. Okay, here's a good picture. It said copper and brass tarnished, but do you see how the brass becomes deeper in color, like a brownish color? Okay, and let me type in the word burnished brass so you get an idea what that looks like. It's going to be what a deeper brown color, burnished brass, right here. So they have melon, y'all. They have melon. These beings from heaven. Okay. So this will end a lot of the foolishness that we see that the heathens are putting out here. Okay. As you can see that with brass, as it ages, it becomes what? Deeper in color. Deeper in color, like especially like this color right here. Oh, here's another good one too. And I know what the wicked gonna do. They're gonna argue and say, but see, there's many different color of brass. He can look like gold or whatever. But that's what the wicked gonna do. They're not gonna accept that the Messiah and these angels in heaven are melanated. They're not gonna accept it. But that's on them. Because once the word gives you the truth, because we looked at the word Adam in Hebrew, and Adam in Hebrew means what? Reddish brown. So you can't get no plainer than that, y'all. So if they don't want to accept it, that's on them. I just feel sorry for them when the day comes when they do see him. I'm looking for that picture that I had clicked on. Was it this one? And I saw that item. Yeah. Like, especially like this picture right here. Right here. You see it right here? It said burnished brass, square shape. This is a square shape item. And I'm sorry. This said an altar candlestick in burnished brass, square shape. Do you see how deep a color that is? It has melon. Okay. So now we got that out of the way. All right. Now we're still setting this foundation. So I took it to Ezekiel. So now let us go to the book of Maccabees. And it's just very important that we go to the book of Maccabees, because when we go back to that painting I showed to y'all, let me share my screen. You're going to see evidence of this in this painting too, of what the heathens tried to do, but they didn't cover everything, y'all. Okay, so I'm taking you to Maccabees. Okay, so I'm going to go to Maccabees. I'm in First Maccabees. We go to chapter 3. I am going to read a little bit higher, so to set the scene with this verse. We're going to start with verse 45. Okay, right here. It says, now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. The sanctuary also was trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from YAHUAH, and the pipe with the harp ceased. Oh, y'all, this verse is saying so much. So this is a period of time where we're under the Greek captivity, and it started out with Antiochus the Fourth Epiphanes. He is the worst of the worst. He was a very wicked Greek king. Okay, so it says here that during this period of time, Jerusalem lay waste as prophesied by Daniel. You got to read Daniel chapter 8 as well as the work of Josephus. And it goes on to say that none of her children that went in or out. So the Israelites didn't have access to Jerusalem during that period of time. And it goes on to explain what this verse is saying. It says that the sanctuary also was trodden down. Is not the land of Israel trodden down by the Gentiles? Okay. Let us keep going. And it says that the alien kept the stronghold. So these strangers was able to keep a stronghold upon Jerusalem. In other words, they were able to control that area. The Israelites no longer had any reign in that area. The heathen had their habitation in that place. So again, you would see the word heathen in its change with the Gentiles, because when you hear the word heathen, it's just very simple. The heathens did not keep the covenant, nor did they have a relationship with Yah. Therefore, they was led to follow their own foolish ways. They were led to follow these principalities. Okay? So, in the English tongue today, this is why we call them what they are. They're heathens, right? And joy was taken from YAHUAH, Jacob, right? So we know when we see the word Jacob, it is talking about the Israelites. Okay. So the Israelites no longer had any joy because of what these heathens was doing unto them. It was keeping them coming to Jerusalem, to his temple, and they was keeping them from keeping the covenant in peace, in Shalum. So as this verse say, because of what they were doing, the pipe with the harp ceased. So there was no singing, there was no melodies, there was no songs, there was no joy, because what these heathens was doing. Okay, let us keep going. Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Maspah over against Jerusalem. For in Maspah was the place where they prayed aforetime in Israel, or in Yashael. Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads, and rent their clothes, and laid open the book of the law, where the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. Do y'all hear that? In the Most High sacred books, in the sacred books of the Israelites, in the book of the law, these heathen sought to paint the likeness of their images. So those who get a copy of the 1611, you're going to see their images. You're going to see the European images in the 1611 Bible. They forever inserting themselves into the Israelites' sacred books and paintings or images. Okay? Heathens. That's what they do. Okay. Now that we set the foundation, let me take you to this screen here. Oh, and the Father reminded me, as another screen I forgot to show you as proof that Esau does have red hair, and it's coming from the heathens information. They say the same thing too. So again, the wicked cannot say, well, Genesis 25 wasn't saying Edom, was not saying Edom had red hair. See, that's what the wicked gonna tell you. They're going to say that's some type of analogy or parable, but they're going to make up something crazy, y'all. I'm telling y'all. So when we go to the Wikipedia under Jacob, right here. I want you to go into the section dealing with Jacob and Esau's birth. I want you to read that. Okay, so that's what we're going to read right quick. It says that Jacob and his twin brother Esau was born to Isaac and Rebekah after 20 years of marriage, when Isaac was 60 years of age. You can find it in Genesis 25, verse 20, and Genesis 25, verse 26. Rebekah was uncomfortable during her pregnancy and went to inquire of YAHUAH why she was suffering. She received a prophecy that twins were fighting in her womb and would continue to fight all their lives. Do y'all hear this? This is ongoing, y'all. Even after they became two separate nations. There that word ago, nations, right? The prophecy also said that the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elders shall serve the younger. Genesis chapter 25, verse 25. That's true. They fear us. Do you hear me, Israelites and Gentiles? These Gentiles fear the Israelites. They are afraid that we will rise up against them. And you can see that evident in how the police treat my people. You can see that evident when their women are around my brothers. They're clenching onto their purses. They're making phone calls to 911. They fear us. Okay? And when you read a sacred book, such as from the 12 Patriarchs, you will learn from my ancestor, Yahudah, known as Judah, we had great strength and might. So they fear us because what? We bear the power of Yah. And they know soon the Father's going to awaken the elect, which is the 144, and they're going to have these powers. And that's what they fear. And those who have understanding of the role of the elect will accompany with the Messiah to take down the fourth beast kingdom. Revelation 7, Revelation 14, and Revelation 15. Okay, let us keep going. When the time came for Rebekah to give birth, the firstborn Esau came out covered with red hair. Y'all hear that? Came out covered with red hair, as if he was wearing a hairy garment, and his heel was grasped by the hand of Jacob, the secondborn. I want to highlight that. Even the heathens are telling you that Esau has red hair. Okay? It goes on to say, according to Genesis chapter 25, verse 25, Isaac and Rebekah named the firstborn Esau, which is Hebrew. And the second son they named Jacob, which is what? Yaakov, meaning heel catcher, supplanter, leg puller. He who follows upon the heels of one. That means he come after him. So Jacob's kingdom is to come. And I gave y'all the mystery on what that means in the other video on the channel. Okay, the one that has Augustus Caesar as the video cover. Okay, so his name means he who follows upon the heels of one. From Hebrew, the word for heel is akuv, seized by the heel, circumvent, restraint, a word play upon Hebrew, which is ikweba. Ikweba means heel. So I need to correct myself. Akba means seized by the heel. So this is what Jacob would do. This is a future prophecy, y'all. Jacob, and you got to understand about the mystery of Jacob. It's talking about that promised seed. That promised seed that will come out of Jacob. The star of Jacob, y'all. That's prophesied by Baalim. Baalim prophesies about that promised seed. And this promised seed is what? It's going to seize Esau by the heel. He's going to circumvent him. He's going to restrain him. Okay, let's keep going. The boys displayed very different natures as they matured. And Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, but Jacob was a simple man, dwelling in tent. Genesis chapter 25, verse 27. Moreover, the attitudes of their parents towards them also differed. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. To my Israelite brethren, you need to thank your mother Rebekah for what she did. It's a mystery on that submission, brothers. You got to understand what it means. Okay, but this video is about the color red and what it means, how it pertains to Edom and the dragon. Okay, but I'm telling my brothers, you need to thank your mother Rebecca for what she did, because if she operated according to some of your standards, y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking to. If she operated according to your standards, Jacob would not have received the blessings that he had purchased according to the birthright. And if Jacob had not received the blessing, Adam, including Israelites, would have been damned. We wouldn't be able to be set free, okay, from these principalities. So you need to thank your mother Rebecca for what she did. All right. Thank you. Yes, truth is coming out. Okay, so now I can close that out. All right. So let me take you to the next tab. Okay. Next tab we're going to, for those who have access to Facebook, I think, yeah, it was, let me see, I gotta get my year straight. This is 2020. So it was in the year of 2019 AD. The Father had me to set this up. In other words, my spirit was stirred up. It was in my heart. So on those who have access to Facebook, I had created a page, and I'm still perfecting it. So bear with me, y'all. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not on Facebook like I used to be. Okay, I'm not on Facebook like I used to be. So to reach me quicker, you can contact me by email or, by that phone number I share with you. But on Facebook, what he had me to set up, or what he stirred in my heart to set up, okay, because as I share with y'all, I am a servant. He has given me an assignment, and one of the assignment is to preach, okay. And I said, well, I need to establish or, give a name. And reason why I'm smiling, y'all, and let me show my picture as I'm speaking unto you so you can see my facial expression. The reason why I'm smiling, y'all, because when I set this up, or when he stirred me to set this up, okay, when he stirred me to set this up, I didn't realize it go in hand what was written in the Sealed Book of Mormon. I had no knowledge of the Sealed Book of Mormon. So when I show y'all, let me find where I'm at. Here we go. When I show y'all this, the name that I put for this page is the Messiah's Temple of Zion. The Messiah Temple of Zion. So those who have read the Sealed Book of Mormon, you will learn that when the Messiah come back, he's going to establish the tabernacle or his assembly or his church in Zion. Zion. And there we shall follow after the order of Melchizedek and after the order of the Enochian. Very deep. So I just want to share that with you. So it's on Facebook for those that have access to Facebook. I'm still working on it, but it's there. It's titled as the Messiah's Temple of Tizan or Zion. And as you see here, I added these two pictures, okay, that we can go to now, because I want you to see this. So I'm going to show you a couple of screens. So there are some paintings, and I want to make sure I give the correct locations of these paintings, okay. They are in Romania. I will share my screen with you. So let me go to the first one. The first one is dealing with this website. It's under RomaniaTourism.com/painted with the ED hyphen monasteries with an IES .html. Okay. Let me minimize. Okay, let me take my my face off now so you can get the whole screen. We go back, see where I'm at. There were some paintings done, y'all. And these paintings tell a great story. Okay. And they can be found in Romania. And it's located in northeastern Romania. I'm not going to read this word for word, but these paintings pertains to the saints and the prophets and dealing with the scenes of the life of Yahusha and the images of the angels and demons in heaven and hell. Okay, I'm right here. That's where I'm reading this at. So I already gave you the link. It's on RomaniaTourism.com. It's under painted-monasteries.html. Okay. Let me scroll down, see if any more of the pictures. As you see here, here are some other pictures. And it says it's near a large town. I'm going to try to attempt to say this word, but bear with me. Susiva. Susiva. Okay. Bear with me if I mispronounce it. And like I said, it's in Bukovania, and it's located in the northeastern Romania. Okay. And you see there's some different villages that have these paintings. Remember too, Israelites were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. We are everywhere. Okay. I'm just scrolling down. Because with some of these paintings, that's why we got to read that scripture in Maccabees. Yeah, we ought to read it. In some of these paintings, you can see that these people that was painted, you can tell they have melon, but some of them been lightened. Okay. But the part that I show you of these paintings, you can see the melon that's on the angel. Okay. So let me go back up. All right. So now let me show you another screen. Okay. From a distance, you can see the melon. You can see the melon on some of these. Let me minimize my screen a little bit. Okay. But this is the one that we're looking at. And the part that I was telling you about the angel and the spirit and the people below him pushing towards the river of blood is here in this one. Okay. I'm going to take you to another screen because I know this screen is not the best. It's not the best. All right. So let me take you to another one. So I'm going to close this screen out because I know that's not the best, but I got another one for you. That's a little more better than that one. See right here, this is the one that I had got for y'all. That gives you closer up, and you can see that this angel, look at his face, he's melanated. And the people that he's pushing into the river of blood towards those angels that's there, look at the color of their hair. They have red hair. And I need to blow this up. I'm going to blow it up so you can really see what I'm seeing. I know it's probably hard to see because it's really small, but we're going to get to the blow up picture, which I do have. Okay. Let me minimize this. I'm just scrolling down. Let's see what else I can find. But like I said, in some of these pictures, you're going to see some of these individuals in these pictures, they are not melanated now. Again, you have to understand what these people did. But they left some evidence behind to show you that originally they was painted with melanin. Okay. And I done gave you the scripture from Ezekiel to show you the proof. And then when we look at our father Adam was melanated. So all the sons of Adam, including Noah and his sons, were melanated. Now, when you study Torah, you begin to learn why we have people to have either less melanin or no melanin. It's two ways. Leviticus chapter 13 will give it unto you, but it goes deeper. When you read Daniel chapter 2, when you learn that when these angels start mixing themselves with the sons of Adam, this is how you got a change in one's skin. And we can see evidence of that, such as blue eyes. Science would tell you that the original eye color of man was brown. So what happened? Even science would tell you that blue eyes is a genetic mutation. So it's not a part of the creator original plan on how he made you, Adam. Do you hear me, mankind? Do you hear me, Israelites? All right. So just because you have these traits now, do you hear me, Adam? For those who have these traits, if you have less melanin or no melanin, if you have, such as if it's in your hair or in your eyes or even in your skin, that does not mean my father will not receive you. That does not mean the Messiah will not receive you. But what I'm giving you is history, truth, so you can see what the enemy has done unto our people. When I say our people, I'm talking about Adam. I'm talking about mankind, what they did. And you just bearing the evidence of that. However, what's in the word, he said what? Those that he received, he cleanses them. He sanctified them. So I'm saying this unto you so you won't feel less of a Adam. Do not fear, not fear, but feel less of an Adam. This is not to make you feel less of an Adam. This is to give you truth so you can understand why this came to be. Because it's time for you to know your enemy. It's time for you to recognize what they have done unto us. Okay? Do you hear me, Israelites? So do not make one feel less of an Adam because they bear these traits. These traits are just an evidence of what they have been doing unto us. Okay? But those who receive salvation become justified. They become sanctified. They become cleansed, and they are received. That's why it's written in 1 John chapter 4. He said, "Oh, test the spirit." See, you can't go by the outer appearance. You can't go by if they have melanin or less melanin or no melanin. Okay? Because when you're walking in the truth, you will learn that the enemy is everywhere. Okay? They are among all. Okay? And they look like all the nations of the earth. So this is why it's written in 1 John chapter 4 for us to test the spirit. This is what you should be looking for. You don't look at the outer appearance. You look at what spirit they are joined to. Very important to know. All right, now this is a tab right here that's really good right here. So now I'm going to take you to the blow up version of this picture here. Okay. And that's the picture I showed you at the beginning of this live video. But right here, you can see this this angel is melanated. Same thing with this angel over here, who's blowing the shofar, calling the animals. Hey, what the Father's telling them come and eat. Oh my goodness. But he's calling, but this angel here, this is a woman. She's calling them. She's blowing the shofar. You also see the dead being resurrected. They're coming out of the grave. This is the last trump sound. Wow. Okay. Okay. Oh, here you can see the angels in the blood tormenting those souls who are pushed into the river of blood. Now we get into the Bible. You're going to have to read Matthew chapter 13 and Revelation chapter 14. Okay? To understand this part. I mean, this is saying a whole lot here. But the thing I really want to point out unto you is, look at the people here. They are bound. They are captive by the angels of Yah. Okay. And notice that this angel is standing upon a dark angel or a demon. Right here. You see the demons around here. Okay. Standing upon that demon, it means conquering him. And you see with these people below him, by me blowing the picture up now, you can really see that these people have chains upon their necks. They are bound, they're tied down. And this angel is pushing these people to the river of blood. And we know what the blood moon represents. We know what red represents, that judgment is coming. They're going to have to play in blood. Okay? So now we need to go back to the Bible to close out the foundation now of this. Okay? Oh, and let me share this tab, which you can get the description of that portion of that painting. Okay, not that one. Sorry about that. It's dealing with this one. That it comes from Romania Bakovian. No, Bakovian. I'm sorry, Bakovina Varanet Church Monastery, known as the Last Judgment painting on west exterior wall, 16th century. So this was done in the 1500s. Animals with prey and river of blood. Okay. So notice the key words to look this up. Keywords are Last Judgment, Judgment Day, the Dam, Prey, Final Judgment, River of Blood, Animals. Okay. All right. Now we need to go to Revelations 14. Revelations 14. And we soon will be finished, y'all. We're going to wrap this up. Revelations 14. Also, Father is reminding me to tell y'all on the channel, I have Nat Turner testimony of what he told unto the European. I highly recommend y'all read his testimony. You don't have to watch the video because I know the video is long. But in the video description box, I give the links, not only with his testimony, but with the Dead Sea Scrolls. Nat prophesies something that was written in the Dead Sea Scrolls dealing with the white spirits and the black spirits he saw in the great battle day. I highly recommend that you read it. This is why in my heart I believe Nat is a prophet of Yah. Each prophet, he gives them a physical sign to perform in the earth to inform Israel and the Gentiles what is coming upon them. And we all know what sign that Nat was given. They call it the insurrection. And to this day, they don't believe that they are going to be slaughtered. Man, woman, and child. Yes. Father's not playing. Nat gave the sign. He gave them a warning, and they did not take heed to it. And it was because they went too far in how they treated us, the Israelites, Yasharel, how they treated us in this captivity. They went too far. So now they're going to have to pay the price, because as written in Galatians chapter 5, that a man sowed, that a man reaped. Which also bring me back to this. When you study the word hunter, the Sealed Book of Mormon gives you the definition of hunter. Hunter means hunter of men. If you look at the history of Cain, Nimrod, and Esau, they had led their brethren into captivity. They had given their brethren false doctrines to follow. These doctrines come from Satan. And their church, or their leading church, remember there's many assemblies and there's many other type of religions, okay, that comes from Satan himself. But the leading one in the earth, that means the one that has the most members or the most peoples, is the Roman church or the Roman Christianity. They have many branches, many denominations that come off from there. Okay, now we're in Revelation 14. I'm going to read a summary unto you. The Lamb standing on Mount Zion with his company. An angel preaches the gospel, the fall of Babylon, the harvest of the world, and put it in the sickle and the vintage and winepress of the wrath of Yahuwah. What verse we're going to start is verse 15. It's dealing with the harvest of the world. That's what that painting is talking about. The harvest of the world. And it's letting you know it's putting an end to Edom's kingdom, the people of the red hair. Okay. Again, I want to say this. Do your due diligence. This, because somebody has red hair, does not make them Edom. You have to trace their father lineage. So please do your due diligence. But red hair is a trait of antiquity of the nation / tribe of Edom. Okay. They could not mix their trait out. They could not whitewash their trait out. Okay. This is why you have dirty blonde, and this is why you have brunette from the mixing. Okay. Now we're going to verse 15. I'm going to start the verse higher. Verse 14. And I look, and behold a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. For those who understand what a sickle is, this is what the Israelites used to harvest what? Barley, and to harvest what? Wheat. Verse 15. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Do y'all hear this? He's telling another angel, okay, and another angel came out of the temple crying. So this other angel is coming out crying, saying this with a loud voice to him, saying it to the one who's coming on the cloud, right? Saying it to the Son of Man, who is what? The Messiah. Telling him to thrust in the sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Remember, I told y'all, I was talking about the 8 month. You should be at a certain level now. You should be bearing with the fruits. You should be overflowing fruits now. That seed in you should have grown into a productive vine, into a productive tree, where you're bearing or you're overflowing with the fruits of the Spirit that is written in Galatians 5. Just like with the wicked, they're going to be the opposite. They're going to bear the fruits of the wicked. Read Galatians 5. So harvest is coming, right? And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reap. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sickle. So another angel coming out, y'all, in this harvest. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thou sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. Okay. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of Yahuwah. That winepress represent that it's going to be great bloodshed when he cast that sickle upon the earth. Verse 20, and the winepress was trodden without the city, and the blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. Now, Josephus will give you the measurements of furlongs, but it's going to be a lot of blood, y'all. A lot. Here is the precepts to Revelation 14. Take this time now to pause your screen and get it now. We got to go to 13. As you see, we got to go to Matthew 13. Matthew 13. Okay. Read the chapter summary unto you first. It says the parable of the sower and the seed, the expositions of it, the parable of the tares, of the mustard seed, of the leaven, of the hidden treasure, of the pearl, of the draw net, cast into the sea, how the Messiah is contemned of his own countrymen. Let me scroll down. This is a whole good chapter to read. Again, it's talking about that seed in you. Either you're going to bear the fruits of the spirit or you're going to bear the fruits of the flesh. And in harvest time, those who bear the fruits of the spirit shall be separated from those who bear the fruits of the flesh. It's dealing with verse 29 and 30, but let me turn to my book because I had it where you see him telling the angels. But this might be it. But let me keep scrolling down. Yeah, here it go. Thank you, Father. So he's expounding on the parable with his messiahs. So let me start at verse 36. Then Yahusha sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. Now, when you look up a tare, y'all, the tare look just like wheat. It's very hard for you to tell apart. And the Father's reminded me to tell you, please read Yahuwah prophetic messages dealing with I'm coming for you, part 1 and part 2, because he talked about these tares and the wheat. Let us keep going. And he answered, he said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is of the Son of Man. Father's telling me to remind you, when it comes to the tares and the wheat, you cannot tell the difference. This is why I'm telling y'all cannot look on the outside. You cannot go by those who say the Hebrew and those who do not. That would not determine it. The Father knows what spirit that is in covenant with the heart. Only the Father knows this. Only he's the only one that can see this. You cannot see this, only him. So do not be deceived just because those brethren or sisters who do not say his name or his Hebrew name, or who do not do exactly everything the way you do it, do not be deceived and not think they're not his. Remember, our Father has the last say on those who will enter into the kingdom and on those who will not, because he is the only one that can see the heart. He can see what spirit is attached to you. He knows your thoughts and he knows your attention, your intentions. Okay. Let me pick up at verse 38. The field is the world. Do y'all hear this? So he's talking about the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. So we know the tares are them with the children of Satan. Verse 39. The enemy that sown them is the devil. So the devil went around planting his doctrines in their heart. Do y'all hear this now? Okay. So the enemy that sold them is the devil. He planted his doctrines in their heart. So they became members of his church. The harvest is the end of the world. He's talking about the end times, what is coming. And the reapers are the angels. Ooh, angels, the eagle wings, right? As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire. You all hear this? They're gonna be burned in the fire. So shall it be so shall it be in the end of this world. So the end of this world shall be what? Be ended by fire. That's what's coming. Now the flood was the first judgment. So we ought to have evidence of that. It has came. So what is coming now is fire. I remember seeing on the TV program of a Gentile dreaming about fire coming. It's coming. All right, let's keep going. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all the things that offended and them which do iniquity. Do you hear that? The Son of Man, which is the Messiah, he's going to send his angels, and they're going to gather up the wicked. And these angels shall cast them into a furnace of fire, and there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. That means this painful death is forever ongoing, non-stopping, never ending. Read the book of Revelations and the books of the prophets, such as Isaiah. He talks about it. It goes on to say, then shall the righteous son shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who has ears to hear, let him hear. So who has ears to hear this, you will understand what this parable means, because it's a mystery about the righteous, why they would shine like the sun. It goes back to the beginning. Okay, but when you get a chance, read this whole chapter, because this whole chapter is telling you where you should perform at. Okay, so now let us go back to that picture that I showed y'all in the beginning. So we can get the full interpretation of this. So the title of this word is red, the color of the fourth beast, Rome, Edom, and Satan's kingdom. So when we look at this picture and we see those people who are bound and chained and pushed towards the river of blood, in other words, they're going to be what? Slaughtered. They're going to be killed. So their blood is going to be spilled. We noticed they had red hair. And we also read in the Wikipedia article that deals with Augusta Prima, a porter. Okay. When we look at that article, they couldn't understand why he would be painted in red and what the red signified unto us. So we already got confirmation from Revelation 12 that red is letting you know who is ruling now. It is confirming unto us what the prophets were saying, dealing with Moshe in the book of Genesis, dealing with the prophet Hosea, also dealing with Ezra, what he wrote in the Apocrypha in chapter 6, second Ezra, chapter 6, when he said what? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the world to follow after Esau. It is the world to come. So in other words, we are in Esau kingdom. We are in Edom kingdom, known as Rome, which is the fourth beast that Daniel prophesies. And the sign that we have proof that Edom is well alive and living today is the red hair. And when we know that he has mingled themselves with the sons of Japheth and with this unknown nation. So some may have blonde hair, or what we call dirty blonde hair. That means they have hues of red in their blondness or in blonde hair. Some have brunette hair, which is a mixture of black hair with red hair. So this is why when the sunlight shines on their hair, you can see hues of redness in it. So we can see evidence of that, as well as some of the Jewish, known as Yahad, will also have red hair. So it's letting you know that Edom is well alive today, whether he has melon or no melon. Because all they gave you a proof that all the sons of Adam had melanin. Even Noah had melanin. Even the Messiah has melanin. Okay? All of them bear that. But as time went on, there was a change that took place with some of the nations, with some of the tribes, even with some people. Okay? So we all know how that came out to be. Either it was through leprosy or it was through the mixing with the angels. Okay? Now, when we look at the European nations today, we can still see evidence of them bearing melanin. For some of them, when they sit out in the sun, they go into what? They will tan. All right. So even when you take their skin and you compare it to a color chart with from white all the way to black, you could take a color chart, you would see they have some melanin. So they're not a pure white. The only way to be a pure white or to be pale, you have to have no melanin whatsoever. Okay. So when we reflect on this title and we see these individuals with red hair, and we see Augustus Caesar, why he was covered with red hair and why he had red painted upon his garments as well as his chest armor. What we're beginning to understand is what the Bible is telling us, which is we are in Edom kingdom. And they are alive and well today. And they have went in covenant with the beast. This is where they get their powers. This is where they get their authority. Okay? Because they are operating in darkness. So just as their kingdom was prophesied of what it is now to this day, so is the prophecy of the promised seed that is to come, that is a descendant of Jacob, that shall dethrone them, and those angels that they had went in covenant with. Now we begin to understand why Revelation chapter 7 describe the dragon or the beast as a red dragon. Because we all know that the Herodians or King Herod was of Edom descent. Okay. You can read the work of Josephus. It's there. Okay. Even now, when we look at the Romans and we look at the Jewish known as Yahad, we can see the red hair people among them. Okay. It's there. So in that article, yes, they are of royalty, but they are royalty of the powers of darkness. So now we begin to understand why we see the Father create Edom to be red. It was a mark. It was a sign to give you understanding of those biblical prophecies that was given unto Moshe, that was given to Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, all of them, even Ezra. Also given us an understanding about the prophecies that are written in Revelation. So we now know that Rome is Edom. We also now know that another word for Edom is Shittim, Chittim. Okay. So we can recognize who they are now. We know their symbols. We know their signs. And most importantly, we know they have went in covenant with Satan, the dragon, the serpent, the devil. Revelation 12 tells you who he is, his titles, okay, and what animal that Satan is compared to. He's compared to a dragon. He's compared to a serpent. And the reason why he's compared to the serpent, go back to the beginning. When you read the prophets' writings such as Ezekiel and 1st and 2nd Adam and Eve, you will learn that Satan entered into the serpent. And he was the one speaking through the serpent to our mother Eve. This is why the Father has grace and mercy upon our foreparents, Adam and Eve. This is why we have grace and mercy, y'all. Because the Father knew we was dealing with a hidden one. We was dealing with one of his children, a very powerful one. and he didn't pray fair. He hid himself. He disguised himself. He lied to our mother, y'all. Eve, who is the mother of all living, he lied to her. He deceived her. This is why the word say he would put enmity between the woman and the serpent. This is why, sisters, when you prophesy or when the Father called you to be his serpent, this is why you get pushback from the brethren, because because some of the brothers are listening to the spirit of pride, which comes from Satan. And because they are blind by the spirit of pride, they cannot recognize when the spirit of Yah is speaking through you. They are so quick to jump on you because of your gender, because you are female. But if they understand this, we are submissive to the spirit, and you need to be able to recognize when the spirit of Yah is speaking to you. Because the Bible is the evidence that he used anything or anyone to speak for him. It can be an animal, or it can be a man, or it can be a woman. Okay? So we need to be able to recognize when our Father is speaking. We need to know his voice. It goes deep, y'all. Very deep. Now I can go on that subject, but I want to keep this word short tonight because I want you to meditate on what we learned tonight. Now we understand why the color red is associated. Let me take this banner off for a second. Now we understand why the color red is associated with Edom. He had red hair. He ate red lentils. Okay. Why this color is associated with the red dragon? Because it's telling you Edom has been in covenant with the dragon. They made a pact. They are in what's another? It's I think allegiance to one another. And Edom is leading Adam into captivity. In other words, he's leading them to follow the false doctrines. He's leading them astray from our Father in heaven. Because misery love company. They want you to join them in Sheol, which in the English tongue they say hell, in the Greek tongue they say Hades. And we know the word told us that Sheol will be cast into the eternal lake of fire, which is the second death. Read Revelation 20. This is how deep this goes. And this is why you see the Roman Christians and many of their branches, such as the apologetics, such as the Protestants. Oh, let me see what's another one. You got so many of their denomination here. Would say otherwise. This is why they don't want you to read these other books. They have no clue and understanding what they're following. But yet, this is how the wicked operate, y'all. But yet, I'm going to show my face now. But yet, they show you their symbols. And because you lack understanding, or because you don't have the knowledge of their symbols, you fall for it. You thinking that they're leading you to worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But actually, they're leading you to worship Satan. I really want y'all to understand this. I really want y'all to get this. That's what they're leading you to. That's what Revelation 13 is talking about. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. What is that captivity, y'all? Because when you go back in the book of Matthew, I think it's the last chapter. It's either 27 or 28. When you go back in the book of Matthew, you will learn that the Messiah had to deliver the saints out of Sheol. That is the place of captivity. That is the place where you are tormented day and night by those angels for the wicked. But for the righteous, they was put in that holding place to dwell in the bosom of Abraham until the Messiah came and delivered them from that place. And when he delivered them, he took them to paradise. And if you understand what is in paradise, Only thing I can say, go back to Genesis chapter 2. When you know what's in paradise waiting for you. But he took them to paradise. And paradise is the place that's between the second heaven and all the other level of heaven, waiting for its appointed time to come to the earth. That's all I want to say on that. I mean, it's so much that the Father wants you to know, that the Father wants you to hear, but I have to give it in parts. But for those who are new, there's tons of videos on the channel. Even come back to this one. I'm going to attach the other videos. There are playlists I put together for you so you can see the whole picture and so you can hear what the Father has for you. But in order to receive it, you got to graduate. You got to graduate from the carnal things to the spiritual things now. You got to operate in the way of Job. You got to get to that level of Job, of what he took Job through. And when you get to that level, you begin to see the whole picture because he has so much for you. What Satan is offering to this world is nothing, y'all. It is pennies, it's crumbs. He cannot top what the Father has for you. But the Father needs you to have faith in him. He needs you not to be shifted what these wicked ones are doing unto us. He needs for you to stand fast for him because what he has for you, can't nothing top it. I done said enough tonight, y'all. But join us tomorrow for those who can when we gather together to study about the calendar and the mysteries. Join us tomorrow. But continue, my brothers and sisters, to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is truly at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10. Make sure the people are baptized. Oh, if you have no one to baptize you, you can do it yourself. For the water is the second witness in the earth. For the Father has poured his spirit upon all his creations, and they can report that back to him, y'all. So the water does let him know who entered into the new covenant that was established by his son, which is the new marriage. To receive the Holy Spirit baptism, all you have to do is ask in the name of his son, who is Yahusha Mashiach, and our Father will give it to you according to your heart, your faith, and your works. Remember, the Father gives things unto his children according to his time, for he knows you very well. Okay? And that's all I can say, y'all. Shalom. I hope you enjoyed this word. I hope you understand the mystery about why red is attached to Edom and why the dragon is identified as the red dragon. I hope y'all get this. And if you got it, share it. Tell your family, tell your friends, even tell the strangers, because it's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to come out this matrix they done put us in. Okay? Because they done lied to us. It is time to embrace our Father's truth and to come out of the darkness and into the light. So we can what? Be liberated. So we can come to receive our Jubilee. Because it's coming. All right. Shalom and good night.